Hey, everybody, this is Jonathan Ogden, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show.
Hey, Bruin fans, this is David Singleton, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show. Go Bruins.
Hey, this is Wayne Cook, and you're listening to What's Bruin Show.
Hey, guys, it's Chris Johnson, UCLA national champion. I need y'all to listen to the What's Bruin Show. These dudes are off the hook.
This is Maurice Jones-Drew, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show.
You're listening to the What's Bruin Show, part of the What's Bruin Show network, with your hosts, Jake Berryfield and Mike Regalado, and occasionally some friends, talking all things UCLA sports. And now, it's time for the What's Bruin Show.
And welcome to What's Bruin, a show about anything and everything Bruin sports. I am your host, Mike Regalado, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show, part of the What's Bruin Show network, WBS network, actually. Thank you very much. Yes, you can find us on Twitter at What's Bruin Show, Instagram What's Bruin Show, and we are on other things as well. You can email us at what'sbruinshow@gmail.com. If you want to send a message to us, you can hit us up on any of those, or if you want to send in a call, which will be played on our show, you can call 805-399-4WBS, Sucker Rain and Troy. And yeah, we haven't been around for a while. I think it's been, we've had 3 weeks off. Families just doing stuff for the winter break. Jake also had some extra stuff he had to do this week, so he will be back on next week. We will be back in the WBS studios proper next week, so especially in this next week, if there's anything you have to say as we are back for the new year, happy 2026, everybody, so far. Get it to us, and we'll play it live on air next week. But right now, we are just going. I'm going to go deep into what's been going on with UCLA the last few weeks. Now, obviously, let's start off with football, because that's the big one. That's the big one that everybody wants to hear. And why? Because UCLA's coach, latest football head coach, Bob Chesney, is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And already, this guy is getting things done. We knew that he was going to be coaching James Madison in the quarterfinal game of the college football playoffs. Unfortunately, they did not beat Oregon, but they made it a hell of a game in the second half. It looked like the Ducks were just going to come away with a smacky in the head type of blowout, but James Madison's players showed fight, and so did Bob Chesney in that game. So basically, his tenure with James Madison is officially done, and he is now here in Westwood to take over and start doing everything that he needs to do to get this program back on the radar, back on the national scene, because it's been gone for too long. But anyway, one of the things that happened last week, they announced the coaching staff additions. I'm just going to quickly run through this. A lot of these guys are from James Madison. A sprinkle are being retained with UCLA. So just really quickly, I'm just going to run down the list that UCLA had put out. UCLA's new offensive coordinator, Dean Kennedy. Defensive coordinator, Colin Hitchler. Special teams coordinator, tight ends coach, which this one I kind of knew because he followed me about a week before he announced that he was coming. Drew Cannon, he's going to be with the Bruins from JMU. Colin Lockett is coaching wide receivers. Chris Smith, offensive line, and is also the run game coordinator. AJ Stewart retained as running backs coach. Sam Daniels, defensive ends. Anthony DiMichele, safeties coach. Eddie Whitley, Junior, defensive backs. Gabe Lynn, Nichols, Vic Soto, linebackers, and Legi Suaionoa, I believe. Forgive the horrible pronunciation. But actually just today, UCLA announced a few more key additions, and these aren't a coaching staff. These are more like administrative, but UCLA is bringing on executive director of football operations, Jordan Smith. Who else have they got? Special assistant to the head coach, Richard Rogers, as well as chief of staff, Matt Transu. So things are getting underway. Things are falling into place really quickly, and this is really good for Bob Chesney to do because, especially right now, getting that coaching staff in, we are in the middle of the transfer portal. The portal is open, people. The portal. And not as good as effects, and actually that sounded a little disturbing, but UCLA is doing a lot of work. Check out Bruin Report for basically hourly updates. Potential transfers who have official visits, had official visits over the weekend, are officially visiting today, the rest of the week. But before I really get into that, so far UCLA has 20 guys that have entered the transfer portal. They're also visiting different places. I don't think a single guy, one guy, Keanu Williams, he's heading to Penn State apparently. Luke Duncan, quarterback, he is heading to Nevada. So yeah, 20 players, and there's some key spots, especially on the defensive line. I believe it is right now. If my book would freaking open. Right now, yeah, 20 players, 5 wide receivers. That's a bit concerning, including Rico Flores, who announced, as well as Quasi Gilmer, that they will be entering the transfer portal. 2 quarterbacks, that was kind of expected. Luke Duncan, that came about 2 weeks ago. Pierce Clarkson, who did not play with UCLA this year because he had some issues off the field. But UCLA also loses 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. The defensive backs we knew because that was kind of the big thing a few weeks ago with a lot of DBs announcing that they're hitting the transfer portal. One guy in particular, Roderick Pleasant, who was he was actually a pleasant experience this year. He announced that he's coming back, so there is a little bit of stability. But Bob Chesney definitely has to do a little bit of work in the transfer portal, which actually closes on January 16th, which basically means that between January 2nd, when it opened, and the 16th, players have a chance. That's the window to put your name in the transfer portal. Whether you go or commit to somewhere, that doesn't matter. As long as if you actively put your name in the transfer portal, that's when you can be active and be contacted or not contacted, whatever you want, whatever the players want for whatever their specific situation calls for. But going back to the Bruins right now, 8 commitments for UCLA so far, and this is just the start. This is just over the stuff that has happened over the weekend up until now. UCLA has again, my book should open, has 8 players committed to UCLA. 3 offensive linemen. That's good. That's going to help out. 2 defensive linemen, 1 tight end, 2 DBs. That's it for now. As of Tuesday, the 6th. So some of the guys that UCLA is getting is edge rusher Ryan McCullough from Cal. We get another Golden Bear. Thanks Cal for that. An offensive tackle, G.D. Raymer. These next guys are from. Let me do this. Here are the transfers from James Madison that are following Bob Chesney to Westwood. J.D. Rayner, edge rusher Aiden Gobera, Josh Pfeiffer, Riley Robel, an inside offensive lineman. And that's it for now as far as the James Madison players. UCLA also has, where did it go? These little guys slipped through my fingers right here. Safety, Tashawn James. He's coming in from Iowa State. A Boise State transfer. Offensive tackle Hall Schmidt will be heading to UCLA, as well as cornerback Dante Lovett coming in from Virginia Tech. So yes, this thing is ongoing, and honestly, by the time you hear this, it'll be changed. There will be more guys probably in the portal, probably leaving UCLA, probably coming into UCLA. So it's quite a bit of a situation right now that is literally ongoing. So Bob Chesney is definitely putting in some work. Probably has a few not so sleepful nights, but hey, that's what you got to do when you are asked to run a Big Ten big Power 5 program. UCLA definitely needs to get back on top of the world, as they have been not themselves the last 20-ish years, however long it's been since they've gotten a Rose Bowl victory, all that stuff. But Bob Chesney looks serious in his intentions to make UCLA a power again, and that's just what you want. Okay, Chip Kelly had the acumen, didn't have the work ethic, especially when in recruiting. Deshaun Foster was just kind of in over his head. He was doing really well with some of the recruits early on, but those 3 big losses, being fired, having basically the 3 main positions, coaching positions, just basically eradicated in the middle of the season, did not help situation. But that's what's going on with UCLA football right now. It's a very exciting time, and normally it wouldn't, especially if UCLA had not gone to a bowl game, which they did not. And we are still in the throes of college football playoffs. We still have 3 games to go, which I'll get into in a little while. But yeah, this thing is ongoing, and it looks like UCLA is pulling the trigger on a lot of really key potential transfer investments, especially the ones that are coming from James Madison University. So awesome to see. What I forgot to say too is I don't know if long snapper, I can't recall off the top of my head, Salem Abdul Wahab had put his name in the transfer portal, but Mateen Bagani said that he would. But it came out today, I believe, that both of them are expected to return to UCLA. So that is huge. Getting your top kicker, basically one of the top kickers UCLA has had in several seasons, to come back and play with this group, this Chesney-led group, is going to be freaking amazing. So that's going to be huge. And it's just going to be a big overall reset for the Bruins, which needs just something different. It needs to clear the air. Bob Chesney is basically the sage that you put in a new home that is trying to clean out the bad vibes and trying to, just make it his own and make it better. Yeah, there are some coaches who, as I said before, weren't retained. And a few weeks ago, we were talking about that. It would be key if UCLA could retain people like Jerry Neuheisel, but that is not the case for Neuheisel, as it came out that he accepted a position as quarterback coach with Northwestern. He always writes on Twitter, "It's a good day to be a Bruin." Well, as he should, he wrote, "It's a good day to be a Wildcat." And he is joining his former boss, Chip Kelly, who is now the offensive coordinator for Northwestern. Chip Kelly got fired from his offensive coordinator position with the Raiders. And then yesterday, this is kind of cool too, Pete Carroll got fired as the head coach of the Raiders. So, yeah. So Jerry's landing somewhere, so that's good. It also came out that Keka Malloy is going to be taking over the defensive line duties at Penn State. Probably a reason why Keanu Williams headed out that way. He will be working underneath Danton Lynn. Yes, the former UCLA DC, former USC DC, who just took the DC position with Penn State. So a few former Bruins reuniting in Happy Valley. So, good for them. Everyone needs to have the situation that's best for them. So, good for them. I'm glad these Bruins are finding places that they can call their home. I don't remember if we said this the last time we met, but Nico Iamaleava is returning. That's a huge piece. And because of that, there hasn't been any word, but you kind of expect that his brother, Maiden Iamaleava, who now that Luke Duncan is in the portal and might be transferring from UCLA, could be QB2. And that's good consistency for the years ahead. Because let's say UCLA does have a good season. Well, Nico is definitely going to move on from UCLA. So perfect just to have that continuity with his brother, who had originally committed to UCLA, then went elsewhere, then went to Arkansas. Anyway. So the Bruins are definitely set at the quarterback position, sort of. Anything can change in a year, but that's some good consistency from the Bruins from that spot. But yeah, I got to see exactly what goes on with some of the wide receivers. If Chesney can somehow convince Gilmer and or Flores to return, that would be amazing. I don't know how committed they are to leaving UCLA, but it seems like Chesney definitely has something going on. So it would be nice to have some of those guys that have been with the Bruins over the last few seasons to stick around and work with this new staff, work with Iamaliava. So yeah, that's basically what's going on. Yeah, there's no football, but there's definitely football talk, because why freaking not? And now, really quickly, before I move on to basketball, yes, it is officially basketball season, so Jay cannot hit that button. He can, as an American, with his First Amendment right. Big jerk. He can hit the, we don't talk about basketball, but we're talking about basketball. But first, so the quarterfinals happened, and there were not a lot of surprises. Miami beat Texas A&M 10-3. Underdog beat the 10 team beat the 7 team. We had Ole Miss take down Tulane 41-10. Who didn't see that coming? Alabama took down Oklahoma 34-24. That was a bad game for Oklahoma in the second half. They just did not have anything to help power them through. And as I said earlier, Oregon took down James Madison, which was expected. 51-34. Not great outing for the defense, but the fact that James Madison put up 34 on Oregon, I believe that was the most that any team has put up on Oregon this season. That shows something pretty spectacular. So then we go into the semifinals. One of them was on New Year's Eve. I believe that was the Cotton Bowl Classic. No, which one was it? Yeah, I believe it was a Cotton Bowl Classic. Anyway, which is not at the Cotton Bowl anymore. Weird. Number 10, Miami stuns number 2, Ohio State, 24-14. Another shocker. Number 6, Ole Miss defeats Georgia, 39-34. Crazy, though. Number 2 team, number 3 team getting ousted in their first game of the playoffs. They basically had like a month off to try to pull something off. They fell flat on their face. Again, Oregon, which probably, looking back, maybe should have been seated higher, but it is what it is. In the Orange Bowl, Oregon took down Texas Tech, who was number 4 in the nation, or number 4 in the brackets, 23-0. The one team that did what it was supposed to do as a top 4 team, Indiana, smashed Alabama, number 9. That was wonderful to see at the Rose Bowl. Soggy New Year's Eve, just raining. I saw a video of people just kind of sweeping, mopping water off of the field. But by the time kickoff happened, it was actually kind of cleared up. And actually quite nice for a Rose Bowl. But yeah, anyway, Indiana smashed Alabama. Blessed be, 38-3. So next, we have on Thursday, I believe, the Peach Bowl. Number 5, Oregon, and number 1, Indiana. And before I get into that really quickly, on Friday, the Fiesta Bowl is number 6, Ole Miss versus number 10, Miami. Now, first off, with Miami and Ole Miss, Mario Cristobal, former Oregon coach. I don't know, Miami as well. I don't know. I just personally cannot root for them. I'm rooting for Ole Miss specifically because of the Lane Kiffin situation. Lane Kiffin is just a scummy scumbag who deals in scumballs and scummy work. Yeah, not a fan of his. The fact that he's trying to take credit for this Ole Miss team, even though he ditched them weeks ago, to go take over his LSU job. It's funny that he was coaching a college football playoff team, but he left to try to go build up a team to become a college football playoff team. Weird. It was announced this week that I guess there were 6 coaches that were following Lane Kiffin to LSU. Only one is staying behind to kind of see this out, see where it goes. Just weird Lane Kiffin trying to affect this, but I hope Ole Miss wins and downs Miami, but I have a feeling that's not going to be the case. Anyway, the Thursday game, close to home, Big Ten, Indiana and Oregon. Who do you got? Personally, I got Indiana. Yes, I'm not a fan of dudes who are overly confident and kind of dicks about it, but there's something about Kurt Signetti. Maybe it's because he's not an attractive dude, and he just goes and does football things in a football way. But I like Indiana, especially to keep Oregon out of contention for a championship, because they have, just like their logo, they have 0 national championships, and I would like to see that intact. I'm just saying, that's just me. So, and then the national championship game will be played in Florida on January 19th. So that will determine the national champion. I believe that's at Hard Rock Stadium, I believe. Anyway, so that's our football chat really quickly. We'll be back to talk about more next week. Obviously, we'll talk about the semifinal games with Jake. I want to get his take on what we're seeing here with where football is now. But anyway, let's transition to basketball. Let's talk some good stuff, shall we? Yes, we'll leave the bad news for a second. UCLA women's basketball, still number 4 in the nation. They move up to number 3 in the net rankings. They have a record 6 wins against quad 1 teams, and that's because they are just downing fools. The women's team, since we last talked, I believe has taken out 5 teams. 2 of them are ranked. UCLA now has a 5-1 record against the top 25, which is just an amazing feat. But yeah, since we last met, I believe UCLA had played Cal Poly, took them down 115-28. 115-28. I mean, it was just a smashing, and then that continued in the next game. Not as bad, at least for Long Beach State, but pretty dominant win for UCLA as they took down Long Beach State 106-44. In their next game, which was at Columbus, Ohio, the Bruins beat the number 19 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes 82-75. And that game, the thing about that game is that UCLA was in control, but Ohio State did come back. Ohio State's a good team, but UCLA found a way to just kind of keep them at arm's length. It kind of reminded me of that scene in Spaceballs where Lone Star just puts his hand on Dark Helmet's head while he's trying to swing at him, and it's just nothing's happening. But the real fireworks came afterwards. I shouldn't say fireworks. It really wasn't a huge situation, but the fact that there was no national media to talk to Corey Close after that game. And it made headlines, and people were like, well, it's women's basketball, win something, and then, no. This is a top 25 team going against a top 25 team. There absolutely should be coverage. We cover them. We've covered them here at the What's Bruin Show for 13 years, but we're small potatoes. I cover them at Bruin Report. Again, small potatoes, but we're doing our part. Where's the national media for this number 4 team in the nation? Well, luckily, UCLA, actually an idea that I had earlier, because I would love to, I told the SID that I would love to be a part of that if I could, and I suggested Zoom, and they're like, yeah, well, we don't really do that. Well, after the game at Penn State, where UCLA defeated the Nittany Lions 97-61, they had a Zoom call with, and a lot of the local reporters were on that Zoom and asked questions. Talked about what happened with that situation with no national media, as well as just the dominant performance and the development of several players. It's just amazing what this team is doing right now. This past Saturday, UCLA was at Pauley Pavilion, and it was the most. It was the Pauley was as packed, heavily packed as it was all season long. Men's game, women's game. The most people I've seen at Pauley this season. And sure enough, the UCLA came out against number 17 USC and punked another top 25 team, 80-46. Just absolutely huge blowout by the Bruins. And it just shows how good this team is. Now, yes, USC is not with Juju Watkins, but hey, that's basketball. We didn't complain when UCLA had all these injuries to Lauren Betts and Angela Duglich and Kiki Rice. No, UCLA just went out and kept playing. They got better, they got healed, they returned. So will USC. But until then, USC is kind of showing that they're a bit of a fraud. That UCLA gave them their 4th loss of the season, and this was the biggest loss of the season for USC. So that's good to see. Also, with that, Lauren Betts got her 2nd Big Ten Player of the Week honor, and rightly so, because she's just mowing down fools. And just she started the season slow. Didn't have a lot of big numbers, and her season stats prove that. But if you look at her stats from the last 4, 5, 6 games, she's dominating. Like, she is just an absolute beast around the boards. Rebounds. Against USC, I believe she got her 5th double-double of the season. Huge for UCLA. But at the same time, she's not the only weapon anymore. I mean, she never really was the only weapon, but she's now UCLA has several lethal weapons. Outside shooting. Lauren Betts is pulling up some mid-range jumpers, which is like, dang, if she gets that going, that's going to be huge for the Bruins. But overall, UCLA is just dominating all around the floor. It's absolutely amazing to see, especially if you have been following UCLA over all these years, which we have here at the What's Bruin Show for the last 13 years. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Loud and proud, baby. Loud and proud. But UCLA has another week off. They play again on Sunday. This one's going to be tough. At Nebraska. They do have a bit of a tough stretch because they're at Nebraska, who I believe is number 25 in the nation right now, then at Minnesota. They return home the week after to play Maryland, who's tough. I believe they're number 6 in the nation, so that's going to be huge. And then they host Purdue. So this is going to be a tough stretch for the Bruins. But they were in midseason form like a month into the season. This UCLA team, knock on wood, let's hope they all stay healthy, is showing that they are, obviously, they're one of the top 5 teams in the nation, top 4 teams in the nation. But the Bruins are, there are no words to describe it. They are dominating the scene right now. And it's crazy because I think they should be the number 1 ranked team. Sure, Texas beat them, and they have that over UCLA, but Texas and UConn, which are above UCLA right now, as well as South Carolina, haven't really had the schedule that UCLA has had, and really hasn't had the record against the top 25 as the Bruins have. So why aren't the Bruins number 1? Either way, the metrics are saying something different. UCLA did move up to 3rd in the net, and I believe in the Warren Nolan rankings. Check those out. Those also help. That's kind of like the Ken Palm for women's basketball. So if you're interested in that and where UCLA women's basketball lands amongst the national scene, definitely check those out. All right. Who's ready for the bad news? UCLA men's basketball team. Not great, Bob. Not great at all. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not great. UCLA, well, let's go back a little bit. Since we last chatted with all of you and with Big Jake, the Bruins had some success. They finished up conference season. They had, I don't know if we were talked about the Arizona State game, but after the game at Gonzaga where they lost 82-72, their 3rd loss of the season, UCLA came home, took out Arizona State 90-77. Arizona State has been fairly good, but UCLA just kind of drowned them in that game. They next played Cal Poly at Poly Pavilion. Bruins won 108-87. Next game against UCR, another win, 97-65. Good stretches. I mean, look at the points for in those games. Even against Gonzaga, I'm going to hold off Gonzaga, but Arizona State, 90 points. Cal Poly, 108 points. UC Riverside, 97 points. Amazing. What's not amazing? Pardon me. Arizona State scored 77. Cal Poly scored 87. UC Riverside scored 65. That's about where you want opponents to be around 60, 65, allowing Cal Poly to score 87. Arizona State, they could score 77, but this has not been great defense at all. Definitely not a Mick Cronin style defense. And it kind of showed in their next game as they returned to Big Ten play over the weekend. The Bruins were at Iowa. Horrible first half. They were down by 24 at one point. Sure, they managed to get back into the game, managed to squeak into a 4-point deficit, but just things broke down again at the very end of the game. UCLA lost at Iowa 74-61. A good team too, top 25 team, a really good defense. Not great at times against the Bruins, but the Bruins have been, as I said, very good offensively. But I don't know what to say. You go on the road and you kind of play flat. That's the big story. That's why you lost, is because you didn't play a full 40-minute game. And now tonight, the Bruins, by the time you hear this, UCLA might have played this game already at Wisconsin. They're in Madison tonight. I don't know if UCLA is going to win that game. Wisconsin is a decent team at the very least. If we're going by analytics, they're higher ranked than the Bruins are in the net rankings. That's going to be tough. Then UCLA comes home on next week to play Maryland and Penn State. They go on the road for Penn State for that one. That's and what is with these again, really quickly, sidebar, what is with this schedule? So bizarre. Why are we having USC during winter break? Why didn't they promote it? You know, why is UCLA coming home for one game against USC and then going back on the road for two? Why are the men's team coming home for one game against Maryland and then going back on the road to face Penn State and Ohio State? This schedule is stupid. The Big Ten scheduling is dumb. I said it last year that basketball should not have the rule that there should be 2 days in between a conference game or any game. Absolutely stupid by the Big Ten. Change it up. The Pac-12 had it perfectly. Men's games roughly, usually on Thursday and Saturday. Women's games Friday and Sunday. Boom, perfect. You have the whole start of the week to practice, to figure things out. This schedule is just wacky, just bizarre. Anyway, I was gonna look at the numbers. I forgot to do updated, but looking at what UCLA men's basketball is doing against teams that are in the net rankings, it's not good. Like, if we go chalk, like, UCLA should beat the teams that are underneath them in the net and lose to the ones that are above them in the net rankings. UCLA is probably going to go 50% in conference. That's not good. Like, right now, they're barely an 8th seed. Could they be kicked out? Mick Cronin says that this is a team that they're soft. Well, when are they going to get... Well, I almost said it. When are they going to show some toughness? When are they going to show some toughness? This is his team that he put together, that he handpicked, that he let certain guys go, brought certain guys in, and it's like there's not a huge step up. There are these minor steps, minor improvements, but when is it going to get real? When are things going to get real? Already on the social medias, there's a lot of talk that people are just done with Mick Cronin. And look at the schedule. The schedule, not schedule. The record says it all. I mean, yeah, you lose to top-ranked teams, but you also lost to Cal. The Bruins are 10-4, 2-1 in conference. Now, still good, but it's not great, especially with what's upcoming and how the team is playing overall. You know, Sky Clark and Tyler Bilodeau have been the offensive weapons. These are guys that you can get behind, but where's the rest of the team? Where's the defense? Huge hole left in the center by a certain someone who's now thriving at Michigan, whose name I'm not going to mention. But where was that? I mean, other guys, fine, I'll say it. Adai Mara. William Kyle is apparently doing really well. I don't know. I don't know what Mick Cronin can do to turn this around, especially at this point. I mean, it's such a contrast that, like I just said it a few minutes ago. The women's team looked like they were in midseason form a month into the season. I'm still looking for midseason form from these Bruins as they start to get into midseason. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. Obviously, he needs to win some games, or this is not going to be good. But it's not like UCLA can fire him. They just gave him a 5-year extension, which was weird, and unannounced, which was even weirder. But that's where we are with UCLA sports, major sports right now. And yeah, well, we will be back next week, together forever in the WBS studio. Anyway, just my What's Brewing. I'm going through this really fast. Obviously, it's a lot better when I have someone chatting with me, as I do with Jake, so we can bounce things off back and forth. So I miss that guy. But yeah, we are planning on having some guests pretty soon, so we'll figure that out. We just had to go through this winter break. But yeah, I'm still on break. It's weird. Everyone else is back to school and back to work, but I still have this week off, and I don't know what to do with myself. But yeah, just trying to rest up. My What's Brewing. Just had a great vacation with my kids. Got them all the stuff they wanted, and they were just so freaking grateful. I don't know what a lippy is, and my daughter told me to get that for my other daughter. I'm like, you know what? Here's a gift certificate to Sephora. Go crazy. And they did, and they loved it, and it was amazing. So had a great New Year's party with at my sister's. I had cousins I hadn't seen in a while. So that was really cool. That was really fun to party with them on New Year's. But since then, just getting back into the swing of things, trying to get beat reporter ready, because I gotta get bounced back into this, especially with both women's and men's basketball in full swing, especially conference-wise. So that's it for me. We'll be back next week, and yeah, check you later.
Good evening.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
That was the What's Bruin Show.
Oh my God.
Try us tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's gotta be in or out, Mom. In or out. Well, I need the door closed.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Dude, Rob, we play some ball on the West Coast.
The final word is boob.